Seeker. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello, my love. Welcome back to another episode of the Awakening Her podcast. My name is Talia Joy. I am so excited that you're here today. Today, we're going to have a shorter episode breaking down the process of manifestation, how I teach it in the program Activated, and really giving you the step-by-step of how I see manifestation, how I teach it, and how I practice it in my everyday life. So before we dive in, welcome back to anyone that keeps tuning in week after week. My homies, my loves, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in, spending this time on yourself, supporting the show, sharing the show, leaving your reviews. It really, truly means so much. And if you want to help out the show and you have not left a review yet, it goes a long way. It's kind of like the podcast algorithm gets boosted when you leave reviews. So they really do make a big difference. They allow Apple Podcasts to see that we are an awesome show and that more people should listen. So the link is below for you to leave a review. And if you decide to leave your beautiful review, take a screenshot of it before you hit submit and send it over to me on Instagram or through email. All the information is below, and we will send you a free gift because I so appreciate these beautiful, honest reviews. So thank you so much for being the seeker, tuning in, and coming back to the show. I love to have you here, and I'm so honored to share this time. And if you're new to the show, welcome. This is going to be your new favorite podcast. We talk about all things law of attraction, manifestation, uncovering your soul's purpose, intuitive development, and really tapping into and becoming that person that you see in your mind's eye. When I say picture your highest self or your best life, right? That is who you truly are. That is what you get to become. And get this, if you've never heard me say this before, it'll blow your mind. That version you see of yourself in your mind's eye, that is actually what you get to create. That is what you get to manifest. That is a beautiful expression of who you are and the actual thing, the actual life that you get to step into. It's like the universe leads us with breadcrumbs, these visions, right? Of writing a book or of vacationing, of traveling, being with our love, snuggling up, watching a movie. Maybe it's having children or buying a home, our body, the way our body feels, the shape, the way we feel strong in our skin or strong in our body, all of these things that we see in that version or in that vision of our best self, that actually gets to be what you experience. And that is what you are moving toward right now. So I'm so excited to be here to help you to do that, to activate you to your next level of magnetism and manifestation. I'm so glad that you're here. There's no mistake you've been led here. Yay! So on this show, we talk about, as I said, all things law of attraction because I am a manifestation mentor. I'm an intuitive. I'm a mom of 3, and I am a seeker on the path, really stepping into my best version of myself, healing, moving through, and really cracking the code on manifestation. That's what it's all about for me, is to find those hacks, to find the way that actually works, so that we can manifest what we want and we can get out of these patterns, these looping patterns, these struggles that we experience. So that is what I'm all about. And that is what this episode is about. I'm breaking down manifestation to make it make sense, to make it as clear and as simple as possible. And the reason why I'm doing this episode today is, number one, just to help you, because I know you're going to find a lot of nuggets in here, a lot of ways that I explain things that maybe you haven't heard or kind of clicks for you. I always experience that where I'm listening to someone talk about, inner child healing or even business success or intuitive development or manifestation or whatever else. And I hear someone say something in a specific way and I'm like, Oh, that makes so much more sense. So my number one intention today is to help you, is to bring clarity to the process of manifestation. And this is because I am in the process of launching Activated, which you may have heard by now. I'm talking about it. It's all over social media. Activated is my signature 8-week manifestation portal and program, and it is for the seeker who is ready to go deeper to manifest what they want. So the people that join this program are knee deep in the work, in growth, in introspection. You are knowing that you are meant for more, but you have yet to understand what is in your way. So you've probably done law of attraction practices, journaling practices, mantras, maybe even, studied it a little bit or taken some courses or read some books or just started exploring the law of attraction, but you haven't yet been able to crack into that next level of really creating what it is that you want. So Activated is all about that. And everything I talk about today actually is the outline for Activated. So just know that if today's episode resonates with you and you want to go on an 8-week journey where you will have the materials, the support, the teaching, the training, the step-by-step on how to manifest, then that program is for you. Activated is for you. So make sure to check the link below to check out all the details. You get the whole program outline, the costs, the payment options, all the different things. Even the calls are listed there, the call times, everything. So you can see if it's a program that resonates with you. This is the third time I have run Activated, and the first 2 times were so powerful. Such a beautiful group of seekers each time. And I'm so excited for this round because in the last 6 months since I ran it last, I have gone deeper into my own work. I have gone much deeper into the healing work, into the inner child work, into the activation work, and have been experiencing such insane shifts in my life. And everything from the way I react to what would typically trigger me, to my mom or my body or other things, the way that I move through these deep triggers, or sometimes the things that happen that absolutely don't trigger me and they used to. That stuff to me is so amazing. The looping patterns that I'd had since I was a kid, the things that triggered me, bugged me, made me upset, made me feel sad and hopeless and lost and unclear. So much of that has vanished, and it's not magically vanished. It's because I've done the work. And on top of that, of course, I have, in the last couple years, tripled my income and experienced so many more beautiful blessings in my business, in my personal life, just more clarity, more health, more happiness, more vitality, more abundance, more freedom, all of it from doing the work that I, teach about and Activated. That's how it came about. I don't teach a program of something that I don't actually practice. This is my life. This is how I've been able to turn everything around. And it is manifestation in its simplest, but going through an 8-week step-by-step process. There are activations, meditations, workbooks, trainings. It's really set up in a beautiful way that all the trainings and all the materials are unlocked on the Monday. You have a few days to binge it, to go through the workbook at your own pace. And then we meet together on a Thursday for calls. So we go deeper into the concepts, into the teachings. I tell stories. I offer a deeper perspective, and then also have all of your questions answered and have you be really supported in the process. Also, there is going to be a WhatsApp thread from Monday to Friday, text support to everybody that joins the program. It's truly next level. So if you want the support, the accountability, the exactly what to do to manifest, to heal, to expand through your current situation and really create something new, this is the program for you. And I can't wait to welcome you in. So exciting. So make sure to check the link below. You can always reach out to me on Instagram or email to ask any questions that you have. I'd love to chat and answer all your questions. So that is why this episode is coming up today, is because this process is very, very simple. And I'm so passionate, whether you take Activated or not, I'm so passionate to teach how simple manifestation is. It doesn't mean it's easy, as you'll see in the process, but it's simple. So for me, if I know what to do, but it requires some bravery, some next steps, some inspired actions, that's much better for me than when I'm unclear, when I'm just suffering and I have no freaking clue what's going on or what to do or how to get out of it, why it's happening. That stuff is so frustrating. So in the program, we go step by step and we go really in depth. We also talk about things like tests from the universe, how to reprogram your subconscious and conscious mind, I talk about activators, which are people that really allow you to believe that it's possible, and so many other tools, quantum manifestation, embodiment tools, clearing tools, so much that will help you on your path. But it is this process that I'm talking about today. It's just that in the program, we go step by step, we go together, you get all the materials, you really live the process for those 8 weeks, and it's going to be so special. So let's dive into the content today, which is making manifestation really simple and really breaking it down into 4 phases. So activation, healing, reprogramming, deliberate creation. This is truly, sorry, I got ahead of myself. I don't even finish sentences. This is truly the way that you manifest. If you look at other manifestation teachers' material, especially like the big people like Deepak Chopra or Wayne Dyer or Gabby Bernstein or Mike Dooley or other people that teach manifestation, you will see exactly what I'm talking about in their process, because this just simply is the truth. This isn't, I've put it together in a certain way, but I see this rippled into everybody's teachings that teach manifestation in a way that actually works. The people that have become known for it or teach it in a certain way, even people online like Manifestation Babe and other people that really have, made headway and really had really great success with their clients and have really cracked that code. You'll see this process in everything. This is truth. This is the way that it works. And, generally, if you're new here, I like to say that I never claim to know everything, especially when I'm talking about manifestation and God and source and universe. I don't claim to know everything or to override what you know. I think that it's important to take different bits and parts of what different people and teachers talk about and take bits and parts of what works for you, especially when we're talking about God and universe and spirit guides and being an old soul and all of these beautiful things. I always share on this show, I say, this is how it occurs to me, or this is how I see it. This is what spirit has shown me, so that you can draw your own conclusions. That being said, this is the process of manifestation. And the more you write it down and do the work and look at it, you will see it rippled out into all the great teachers. So let's get to it. As I mentioned, number 1 is activation. And so what this is in simplest terms is activating who you truly are. Your home energy, the energy you were born with, your natural sparkle, if you want to say it that way. This is your natural magnetism. This is who you are underneath the limiting beliefs and the things you've learned and the insecurities and all this stuff. So I call this in the program your whole authentic self. And so we're really diving into what your core values are, what's most important to you, what do you see in your mind's eye as the life that you want to create. So this is where we move away from manifesting what other people want us to manifest, or just saying, I want to make $1 million because people like to say $1 million. What actually lights you up? Because personally for me, money lights me up, sure, but what I can do with that money or how I feel in abundance lights me up more. So for me, one of my core values is freedom. So when I talk about money, I less talk about, I want to make $50,000 months or I want to make $1 million this year. And I actually go more for financial freedom. And I look at maybe how much money I spend, and then break it down to what would be an amazing number to make per month that would give me that freedom. And so if I'm going to find a number, it's going to be based in freedom, not just based in something that sounds shiny. So this is all the whole authentic self work. And as I said in the program, the whole first week is this. We do core values. We do what we call your soul essence to really find out what is important to you. And how this ropes into manifestation is not only activating who you truly are so you can walk around in authenticity, but it's also making sure that what you say you want is actually in line with your authentic code, making sure that the things you're saying you want to manifest are authentically linked back to you. So if I just say I want to travel, it's why, right? Oh, well, the freedom thing, that is one of my core values, exploring the world, meeting different people all over the world, seeing different cultures and different ways of life, that stuff is authentic to me. So it's oh, okay. It's not just traveling for the sake of traveling and putting it up on Instagram. There's a deeper why behind things. So I look at manifestation, this first level, as the first filter of, are the things that I want actually authentic to me? So when you're wanting to manifest a home, What about the home is the part that lights you up? Is it because you want your own sacred space? Is it that you want to be surrounded by trees? Is it that you want to be, in the city or in the middle of, everything? What do you actually want? What is authentic to you? And the more you really look at your core values, what is important to you, your manifestation sometimes shifts slightly. And like I said, it can still be about money. It can still be about abundance, but why, right? Why do you want these things? There's a part of your soul that is calling for the things that you want. So you might be walking around saying like, I want to find a good man or a woman. I want to get married. Well, I want to get married doesn't hold a very big energetic charge. But when we go deeper, and especially with your core values, one of your core values might be connection, or it might be love. And it's like, okay, I want to experience connection. I want to experience love and partnership. And I want someone, then it might move away from, I want someone who's 6'2" and they have to have dark hair, into I want someone who loves and cares for me, someone I feel safe with, someone that can communicate, somebody who loves to laugh and experience life and travel, right? So with manifestation, as you unlock what I call your whole authentic self, you start to see and shift and mold what you truly want. And as you tap in, and as I'm showing you how we kind of rejig it, right? I want a partner I can share my life with and laugh with and love with and feel safe with and communicate with. That is much more magnetic to the universe, because the universe is like, yeah, that's what you're worthy of. That's what you deserve. And it's more your soul talking than just your head being like, because I want to find someone by the time I'm 40, right? That is an empty manifestation that doesn't go very far because it's very superficial. So you can have the same desire, but the authenticity behind it is what initially gives it a boost. So if you don't take activated, or just for the sake of when you're listening to this podcast, make sure what you want is actually in line with your authentic self. So write down the things you want and then ask yourself for everything. Why? How is that going to make me feel? What is the underlying reason that I want this thing? And it's making sure that that is also authentic, because sometimes we want money. And if I were to ask you why, you might be like, because that'll show my parents that said I could never make money. And it's like, that's not an authentic desire. If you want money to be more fully expressed, so you can be generous, so you can experience life, so you can have freedom, that is more an authentic desire. So it's really just pivoting the things that we say we want and making sure everything that we are desiring is being run through a filter of what our whole authentic self wants. So in the program, we dive deep into this. I help you to activate that and do your core values. And I share the one core value that is non-negotiable that we all must have in our core values, and then how to start living in alignment with that. So that is the first step of manifestation. If you're starting off manifesting from an inauthentic place, it's going to be forced. There's going to be hustle. There's going to be worry. It's not going to feel right. So that's the first step. Number 2 is healing. And this is where we heal the part of us that doesn't believe we can have it. So one day I was sitting on the beach, probably about a year and a half ago, and they just showed me so clearly. It's like you desire, you heal, you reprogram, you receive. And I'm making it 4 steps that are just slightly different. But the healing part in what they delivered to me and how they showed me was so obvious. Because if we're not healing, it wasn't obvious before this, but after this, when I realized it, I was like, of course, when we're not healing, and I talk about this a lot on the show, the deep down part of us that doesn't believe we're worthy of it, or doesn't believe that we're capable to do it, the part of us that no matter what feels unsupported or alone, or is terrified of abandonment, or has never been shown that they can do it, that is a wound. So we have these core wounds, and often, most people think they're riddled with wounds and riddled with blocks, but really mostly there's a couple core wounds that keep us stuck in looping patterns that we're so frustrated and we don't understand why we can't do it, especially when it's something like, healing or losing weight or making more money or finding love. It's like that core wound that doesn't feel worthy, that doesn't feel enough, that doesn't feel like you can do it, will dominate. As much as we consciously want the thing, deep down, if we don't believe we can have it, or the other part in healing is we often, and I teach this in the program, we have a connotation with what we want that isn't good. So for an example, if I say, I want more money, I might have seen as a child my parents stressing about money. In fact, I actually did. I was with my mom most of the time and we were very poor. She was on welfare for some of the time and I saw the struggle. And she always used to say, money is so hard to make and so easy to spend. I feel like she said that to me way before I even had money. Like that was what I knew of money. So that belief that money is hard or money causes stress or money, like there's never enough, that runs the show until I do healing work. So no matter how much I try to make money or try to save, I will spend it on something. Or as much as I, have all these goals and desires, it's never coming in until I heal that core wound around money. So in the program, we do inner child healing and inner teenager healing because these are very critical times in our life when we learn certain things. And typically after that, in our 20s, 30s, beyond, the patterns that continue to happen with money are just reiterating that original wound. They're just redisplaying that original wound over and over and over. So sometimes if somebody wants to manifest love and they keep having really bad experiences, maybe they're cheated on or they're, not treated what they're worth, and they struggle over and over, they may have had, a relationship that somebody cheated on them in their 20s or 30s, and they think that was the wound. And it could be because that's traumatic and that's awful, but chances are there was something else in their childhood that actually first happened that showed them that they are unworthy of love, or that people won't stick around, or that in some way they're not enough. So we continue to attract these situations, not consciously, not on purpose. I want to be very freaking clear with that. You never are trying to attract these things. It's never your fault. Who would ever try to attract that? That's not a thing, but it's a subconscious thing. So the healing is so important because you must heal the wounds that are holding you back from manifesting what your authentic self, what your whole self is desiring. And so as we move through healing, we go through reprogramming. And there's two aspects to this. There's conscious reprogramming and subconscious reprogramming. So the subconscious reprogramming happens as we heal. We go from feeling unworthy to realizing we're worthy. Another thing that happens, like say with me, is as I've healed the wound that I had around my mom, which I always grew up with, and in all my earlier episodes, I talk about this more and I even have more heat behind me. But in the last 6 or 8 months, I have gone through massive healing. So I was around her recently and I noticed a comment she said, and I even said it to my husband later. I said, that one comment, although it was innocent, it wasn't even anything major, it would have really bugged me. I would have internalized it. It would have pissed me off. I would have felt bad about myself. I would have thought that she was implying something. And I noticed this time there was no charge. I just heard the comment and the next thought was actually like, wow, that's her experience, but I don't have to be her, or like, I don't have to do what she thinks. So for an example, this didn't happen this time, but like she has a really clean house. And I remember as a kid or as a teenager in my 20s, it felt like she would make comments about my house, like, oh, a lot of dust bunnies, or like, oh, you have that food in your fridge, or whatever it is, that would make me go instantly like, oh, right? Like I should have a cleaner house. And she'd be coming over and I'd be madly cleaning, stressed about it because I knew she was going to pick it apart and she was going to, do all this stuff. It was this source of turmoil. So that's just one little example. But now if she were to come over and be like, oh, the house isn't very clean, which she didn't do that. But now I could be so solid in myself. I'm like, yeah, I have 3 kids and like, that's it. Like I'm a human, and it wouldn't be internalized anymore. That's a result of healing. So really the healing with someone like a parent or an old partner or something like that, the healing results in you realizing that you determine your worth. Your worth does not come from even your mom, your dad, your partner. So if somebody cheats on you and you're in a healed state, it still hurts. There's still shock. There's still adjustment. You don't just like float on a cloud being like, oh, okay, as if like, oh, peanut butter's on sale, no big deal. Like it's not like that. It hurts. But in the end, you don't internalize it like there's something wrong with you. You don't make it mean that your body's not good enough, that you're unlovable, that you'll never find anyone, right? So healing really impacts the way we look at everything, and it's huge for manifestation. I want you to really hear me here. We manifest from our inner child. We manifest from our subconscious mind. We manifest from what we feel worthy of, not just what we want and not just what our actions do. We manifest from our subconscious mind. So we need to start reprogramming that through the healing work. And then we do conscious subconscious. No, just conscious reprogramming, the conscious mind. So I have a lot of tools, and I encourage people to find what I call activators, which are people that show you that what you want is possible. I have a whole process for finding activators and how to find them and how to allow them to expand your energy. Instead of being triggered by them, we actually allow them to expand our energy to show us it's possible. So this is where we start in the conscious reprogramming. This is where we start finding proof. So if you don't take activated and you're just listening to this episode, start finding proof of how what you want is possible. So I'm in a healing journey with my body. A year and a half ago, I don't think I even thought it was possible. I was busy manifesting other things, but I was just in chronic pain. I never really went there. I never really tried to manifest something different because deep down, I didn't really think it was possible. And then I found a beautiful soul called, her name is Lauren of Love, and she's going to be on the podcast actually soon in a couple weeks. It's so exciting. And then I'm going to be on her podcast. So make sure to watch out for that. But I found Lauren of Love, who has a program called the Heal Program. And she was such an activator for me because she healed chronic illness, including Lyme disease. She had a massive list of the things that she dealt with. She had boils on her skin and sores, and she was so sick she couldn't get out of bed for months. And all the doctors are like, we don't know what's going on. Take more steroid cream and take more this and take more that. And she was in this hole of sickness, and she was so ill. And she shares this story publicly, so I'm not outing her or sharing anything she hasn't shared. But when she started going toward healing work and actually inner child healing, she had sexual traumas and other things that she had not processed, had not dealt with. As she healed her traumas, she healed her frickin' body. And not only is she lost like a ton of weight, she looks amazing. She's so healthy. She's vital. She's not in pain every day, all the time. She is healed. And that was so activating for me because I'm like, oh my goodness, if someone like that could manifest something just by doing inner child work, not just because it's not always easy, but by doing that deep inner work, she healed her body. That was so activating for me. And that's part of the conscious reprogramming where we start to see proof. If you're in your 20s and you want to be a millionaire, you may have a belief that like people this young, or I'm too young to make money, or, you know, make $1 million or whatever. So go out and find someone who's in their 20s who has gone from nothing to millionaire. So I can go on and on, but that's called an activator. I teach that all in the program, some really cool tricks and hacks to allow them to actually expand you into manifestation. It's so fun. So that's the conscious and the subconscious reprogramming. So as we move through that, this is now where we get to the art of deliberate creation. So number one was activation of your whole authentic self and who you truly are. Number two is healing. Number three was reprogramming. And then number four is deliberate creation. And this is where most people hop in. This is where most people hop into manifestation. They're like, oh, the art of deliberate creation, law of attraction, like attracts like. Okay, I'm a millionaire. I'm going to go out. I'm going to start the business. No problem. I'm taking action. I'm doing the thing. Great. Most of my clients taking action is actually not the problem. They are motivated. They are inspired. They are willing. But if we're not doing the inner work beforehand, then we're coming to the plate trying to manifest with really muddied energy, with trauma and wounds that are leading the way. And we just have not dealt with that and brought that compassion and brought that healing and that unconditional love to ourselves and done that deeper work. So we have to do that stuff. But when we get to this stage, the deliberate creation is going out and deliberately creating what you want, deliberately feeling the things you want to feel, deliberately taking incremental upgrades toward what you want. This is where the channel becomes clear. And instead of just saying like, I want to have a business, you start taking action. You buy a website, you think of a business name. You hire a business coach or take a program or learn how to set up an Instagram, set up a TikTok, how to, basics of business. It's moving forward with inspired action. If you want to change your body or lose weight or become more fit, this is where we start going on walks or we start some exercise. It doesn't have to be anything 5 days a week and $100,000. It doesn't have to be massive action. Massive aligned action gives you massive magnetism. I teach all about magnetism in the program because that's really what it comes down to. But incremental upgrades are actually just as powerful because you learn how to incrementally move toward what you want. So the art of deliberate creation is really where we actually use law of attraction. And I teach in the program and I teach on this podcast quantum manifestation. So quantum manifestation is stepping into the energy that you want to create. This is the her work that I talk about, which is why this podcast is called Awakening Her. That, is broken down in many other episodes. But quantum manifestation, quantum embodiment, literally putting on the energy you want to create and starting to step out as that person more and more. So this is, again, where we take inspired action, where we start actually moving forward with our dreams. And this is also where things like mantras and affirmations and meditations can really be powerful because we are intentionally creating what it is we want. We're intentionally affirming. We are being that person more and more in just these incremental upgrades. So once we've cleared the way, and then we literally, like Spirit shows it to me, like we just put our focus on something. We've become the clear channel to it. So when I am wanting to shift my body, or if I was wanting to lose weight and I didn't do any of the work, because personally I had an eating disorder, I was bullied for my body, I've had a lot of body traumas and a lot of body stuff. So if I'm moving forward and I'm just trying to exercise, but I haven't done any healing, I will sabotage myself. I'll show up for a little bit and drop off. Or if I'm trying to clean up my diet and eat more plants and do this, I will do that and then I'll binge. Or then I will drink some alcohol and then binge. It's like you will stop yourself when you don't do the healing work. But then you heal that work and I realize I'm worthy. I get in touch with my whole authentic self and what I authentically want for myself, clearing those traumas of being bullied and clearing those beliefs that my body is shame, my body is not enough, no matter what my body looks like, it's gross, it's not enough, people will laugh at me, people will abandon me, like it's a whole thing I needed to heal. Now, when I go forward, now it's just intentionally acting. So now I'm like, what am I called toward? I'm called toward yoga this day. I'm called to moving my body, dancing, walking, doing a weight workout, doing a cleanse, drinking lots of water, not drinking. Like this is just a personal journey thing. And now I can, right now, I can do that stuff so much easier because I'm not in my own way. And when we are in our own way, when we are sabotaging, it's because we haven't healed. It's because there is something in our way. And I've said this in the last episode. It's not that you lack motivation or lack willpower or you're not good enough or can't do it. It's because there's a part of you that's unhealed. And as you heal that part of you, you start to want to take care of yourself. You want to go to the gym or take a walk or, eat foods that really resonate and fuel your body. And you can use this example in any area. If body isn't something for you, you can use it in any area. In money, it actually makes us able to attract money, to put our gifts out in the world with confidence. And then that magnetically attracts people, or it has us want to invest. It has us want to put money aside. It has us want to invest in things that resonate with us and to treat ourselves well, instead of always putting those things off and never buying yourself the massage or the coach or the, Airbnb for a weekend or whatever, because you don't value yourself. But then when you do the healing work, you actually start to look at everything differently. So then again, we move into the deliberate creation. And one nugget here that is so powerful is asking yourself, how do I want to feel? And then deliberately creating that feeling in your life. So how do I want to feel? I want to feel free. I want to feel joy. I want to feel ease. What makes me feel those things? And committing to making little actions that make you feel ease. So you might even starfish on your bed, do a big breath in, a big breath out, and say to yourself, right now I feel ease. And there's some very simple things like that open up your channel and have you be magnetic. So the art of deliberate deliberate creation is that number 4, where we actually put the practices into play, but we have this clear channel. So if you've avoided doing the deeper work, if you've avoided doing the healing work or the reprogramming, I guarantee you that it's not as scary as you think. There are tough moments. There's times I've broken down to my coach, or I've really realized a core wound, and it's like, it's intense, but the result is you loving yourself through it. So healing isn't just digging up a bunch of shit that never used to bug you. My bestie's so cute. She's like, I always looked at inner child healing as like, you're just going through your childhood and rifling through stuff and digging up shit that didn't bug you, and now it's going to bug you. But, she understands it deeper now. But that's a lot of times what we think. Like, I don't want to talk about my past over and over and over and over. And I get it. I don't want to either. But there's a few key things that we can uncover, and the actual healing work is bringing love and compassion to yourself through those different styles of healing, whatever works for you. I think inner child is like the shit. I truly believe that we can manifest anything healing the inner child, because like I said, we manifest from our inner child. So when our inner child feels worthy and free and self-expressed and like you can do anything, and she's activated, she's present in your life, and that is the place where things just become unlimited and things become much more magical. So once again, manifestation often seems very complicated. And I know even in this show, in this podcast, in this episode, I've used a lot of words, but it comes truly down to knowing what you want, making sure that that is authentically you, healing what is in your way, what you believed about yourself, about your goals, about what you should do, about what you're capable of, healing that results into and brings you into the reprogramming, where we reprogram the subconscious through the healing, and then the conscious mind through the deliberate reprogramming work. One of the tools I touched on with activators. There's many more ways that I teach in Activated to consciously reprogram. And then from that place, we get to then basically create our reality. And as we're in deliberate creation, we're still checking in, making sure that what we're doing is authentic to us, right? So if we're deliberately creating a healthier body, we want to check in and go like, is a boot camp authentic to me and what I want? Is yoga authentic to me? Is walking in nature authentic to me? And always choosing the path that is the most authentic to you, because that is your path to total success. That is the path laid out for you. If you were to wonder, am I on the right path? We acknowledge there's a path. And I don't look at it like it's fixed, like we have to do this and have to do this and it's all predestined. But that pure essence of what you are. My husband was born musically gifted. That is part of his authenticity. So music and writing music and playing music is such an important part of him being authentic. We all have parts of us. Again, look at your childhood. Look at who you were when you felt more free or unlimited. Were you singing and dancing and imagination and in nature and whatever? And those start to give us clues to who our whole authentic self truly is. So we're always checking in and making sure the things we want are authentic. Every offer that I put out, I'm like, is this authentic to me? Because in the beginning of my business, I was more thinking like, what's going to sell, or what do people want, or what will they buy? And now I'm like, it's not about what they will buy. Of course, I need to make my business run. So there is marketing involved. There is strategy, but every single every single offer is so deeply authentic to me. I'm not going to put out something I don't practice. I'm not going to put out something that is disconnected from me just to sell it. It's always going to be purely what I've experienced, the tools I've created, the processes I've created, and what has truly worked for me and feels right for me. So we always want to make sure, are your business goals authentic to you? Is your business authentic? Is finding love? Is traveling the world? Is, staying in your job? Is staying in your town authentic to you? Or are you called to go somewhere else? We always want to be looking at that and checking in with that part of ourselves. So I hope that this helps. It's really like, what do you want? Clear the path. deliberately create it. Like, that's even simpler. What do you want? Clear the path, deliberately create it. And we do this over and over. So as I said, you'll see this method rippled out. You see in Joe Dispenza's work, he's all about the reprogramming, right? And you see in lots of other people's work, it's like we have to clear away what we are not in order to step into what we are. And once you get that and kind of go like, oh, okay, that's the truth, you realize that the most important investment in yourself, whether it's money or time, effort, the most important investment is in you. It's not just in the fancy strategy. It's in you coming home to who you truly are. So I hope that this resonates. I hope that you understand a little bit more, and that there's some nuggets in here that you hear differently, that you get on a deeper level. And if this does truly resonate and you recognize within yourself that it's time to go deeper and you want to be held and supported in a beautiful, supportive environment, I invite you to join Activated. So it starts February 2nd. There's pre-work that's actually released the week before that is all about the law of subtraction, clearing the space, making room for your manifestations, root chakra activation, and so much more in that pre-work. And then we go through a beautiful 8 weeks together. There's also a sacred ceremony, a sacred receiving ceremony put in, as well as a guest teacher healing Ho'oponopono ceremony, actually, which is incredible. It's going to be so powerful. So really, I invite you to join me in this program if it resonates, if it tingles you, if you feel like it's meant for you. Check the link below. Feel free to reach out with any information. We are starting soon. Jump into Activated. You will not regret it. 0% of the people that joined told me they regretted it. So that's pretty good stats. Okay. Sending you so much love, Seeker. I hope this resonates. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. And before we go, I want to ask you a question. Have you grabbed your copy yet of Manifest This Shit? Manifest This Shit is a law of attraction coloring and activity book available on Amazon, and I am so excited about it. It is packed with beautiful, inspiring coloring pages, manifestation practices, tools, places to make notes and lists and write down your intuitive hits. There's so many beautiful pages in there. It's the perfect addition to your daily practice. So whether you use it to pass time instead of being on your phone, or you use it as a creative ritual, this book has pages for everybody. I know you're going to love it. So grab Manifest This Shit on Amazon. The link is below in the show notes.